You're on.
For now.
You're on.
Welcome everyone to our Monday night shiur. It's good to see everybody. We are exactly 20 days, about 20 days away from Hanukkah. So another big important holiday is coming up. Something to be excited about. Before we're gonna start, our shiur is sponsored Le'ilui Nishmat Shulamit Bat Yafa Ruach Hashem Tinicheh Began Eden. Amen. Amen. Also, our shiur is Lahatzlachat Mishpachat Shimonov. Yisrael ben Asher, Yisrael ben Leah, Michal bat Chana, Yosef Chaim, Abigail, Elisheva Chana, and Sarah Rivka bat Michal, Bnei Michal. Hashem should send this family bracha v'atzlacha for their constant sponsorship. Amen. They took upon themselves to give every single week to the shiur. Hashem should give them a bracha v'atzlacha, continuous harnasa and shefa, and most importantly, hatzlacha b'chinuch yeladim. How important it is that our children fall in the right hands, in the right places, in the right environment, with the right marriage. Amen. Just today, I'm sure everyone heard the story what's happening in Brooklyn with a Jewish girl that she married a seemingly Sephardic good boy, and it happens to be that he was really a Palestinian from Lebanon, and he was able to con everybody. Something, I mean, it was mind-boggling just to see that. I mean, I saw the video of their engagement. The guy sounds more Jewish than more Jews that I know. And the guy learned Torah for apparently 5-7 years. That's what it said. I don't know how true it is. And he met this Syrian girl in Brooklyn. He acted like a Lubavitcher, like he was Lubavitch. He said, I'm Jewish. They didn't ask him for any proof. And he acted like a Lubavitch. And he met this girl. If you look at the video, sweet girl, mamash. Her name is Sally. You don't get sweeter than that. Sally. So she got married to him. And I guess one of the nights she went inside the shkaf. She saw some kind of bag over there that looked a bit weird. You know, no matter how sweet the girl is, a woman is a woman. She opens up the bag and she finds over there, apparently, I don't know how true this is, but that's what they're saying, a knife, a gun, and a Palestinian passport. And she freaked, of course, I don't want to say out, and she called Shomrim right away. And she's in a house somewhere, and apparently the FBI is involved. Wow. It's a crazy story, but just goes to show that be careful who your friends are. Be careful who you let your kids fraternize with. Be careful who you let your kids, who's in their sviva. And in public schools especially, what goes on over there. I know specifically kids that grew up, some of them even used to come to this shul once upon a time, a long time ago. And they got into heavy drugs because of friends that they had from public schools over here. What's that public school right here? RFK. And they got into some heavy stuff from Arabs, by the way. And they went to rehab, came back, and until today, not married, no nothing. Amash, broken. And for what? For 5 minutes of hana'ah? For 10 minutes of pleasure that you have to run after their whole life just to get that pleasure again and again and again and again and again. Then you have to spend thousands of dollars to go to. So basically what I'm trying to say, chinuch yeladim, Rabotai, you have to daven to your children. They once asked the Rav Mibrisk. Some Avrech came to him and says, when should I start davening for my children? You guys know the famous story. And he said, well, how old is your kid? Oh, he's 2 years old, a year late, 2 years. You have to start already from inception. You have to start already when it's in the womb. You have to pray. If you don't know the gender of the baby, you have to say Sha'ubar yet tzaddik. Sha'ubar, the fetus should be a tzaddik. You should have a good mazal. 40 days before the vlad, 40 days before the baby is formed in the womb, already the malach is saying it's gonna be tzaddik, not tzaddik or rasha. It's gonna say it's chacham, tipesh, aroch, katzar, yafeh. And it also says who's the bat zug and ben zug of the baby. Who's the thing?
Even if it's stomach,
you understand? Back in the day, the angel used to be there for a long time because the guy used to get married to a couple of wives. He used to say, oh, this guy, bat ploni, le ploni, bat ploni, bat ploni, bat ploni. Today it's only one. So you gotta let it count. B'kedusha u'b'tahara. The Shlah HaKadosh said that when a man is with his wife, when he procreates, b'kedusha u'b'tahara, There is nothing more kadosh to that. Only the job of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. The Shla says, when a person is procreating with his wife for the sake of having children, b'kedusha u'b'tahara, that act is considered like Kodesh HaKodashim. And the Shla says, that's why in the Beit HaMikdash, the room above the Kodesh HaKodashim was called Cheder HaMitot. The house of beds. What a weird name to call the room right on top of the Kodesh, the house of beds. But yes, just like the bedroom is Kodesh HaKodashim, so too that room by the Kodesh was Kodesh HaKodashim. So therefore, Holy of Holies. Therefore a person, and that's what we see in this week's parasha, that Yaakov Avinu is only, his mindset is on one thing. And he speaks in such a, Rashi says, it's not my words, in a derogatory term. He tells Lavan, like, which is his father-in-law and his uncle, it's such a cheap, Rashi calls it, he's speaking like one of those empty people. Just give me my wife, I want to come onto her. And that's the translation of the words. And Yaakov Avinu, the man is 84 plus 7 is how much? 92. He's 91. He's 91 years old and he's speaking like, give me my wife. Like, how are you talking? So Rashi says that Yaakov Avinu was saying that on purpose. He was so incensed. He was so in his mind, like he was such a fire. When am I going to have children already? When am I going to teach my children already? And you see how he's bringing children one after the other. Reuven, Shimon, Levi. And he puts that fire into his wives. When Leah sees she stops having kids, she gives Zilpah right away. Because the zchut that she gives Zilpah, she will have more kids. And then Rachel sees she doesn't have kids. And she goes to Yaakov, give me a kid. What do you mean give you a kid? I'm not the one with the issue over here. It's you with the issue. And he says a word that's not nice to her. And he hurts her feelings. And she hurts his feelings. And the whole story over there. And there's only one reason for that. Yaakov Avinu, his mind is on one thing. How to have children. How to have good children. How to have children that are tzaddikim. Goes in the ways of Hashem. And there's so many questions today. So many scientific issues today. So many Yetzer Haras today. I was reading a book by Rav Victor Miller called Divine Madness. An amazing sefer. I suggest that every person put this book in their bucket list to read this sefer. It's called Divine Madness. It's Rav Victor's account of the Holocaust. And he writes over there, from the start of the late 1600s when the Enlightenment hit Europe, and when the Enlightenment happened, also the place where women started to dress like, I don't want to say, in France. So in France, that's where the Enlightenment started with Rousseau and all the enlightened people. And by the way, the founding fathers of America were all enlightened. Were all part of the Enlightenment, the Maskilim, right? The movement. And from France, it went to Germany, and there was a young Jewish rabbi. His name was Moshe Mendelssohn. He was German. By the way, Moshe Mendelssohn, he was a Shomer Shabbat. He's the father of the Reform movement. He was Shomer Shabbat Kehilchata till the end of his life. He used to stop his meetings to daven mincha. This guy was an Orthodox Jew, but he was the father of the Reform movement. And what did he do? He only made one mistake. He translated the Chumash into German. That's all he did. That was the big thing. But that small act that he did caused such a big roar in the Jewish world. It caused so many Jews to learn German. Back then, Jews didn't know German. They just spoke Yiddish. Yiddish is not German. It's a kind of like a mix of German, Hebrew, maybe some Aramaic in there. It's a weird mishkababel. But Jews never spoke German. And they started to learn German because of this. So, it's such a... Now they start to speak German. The Goyim start to like them. They start to fit into society. And Jews never fit into society. How did Haman say about the Jews? There is one nation. In 127 countries. They dress differently. They eat differently. They celebrate differently. Everything is different. But once the Jews started to feel, even Haman said their Lashon is different. The language is different. Look at Bukharians when we used to live in Uzbekistan. Did we speak Uzbek?
No.
They didn't speak Uzbek. They spoke Bukharian. You understand? Every country. Spanish Jews, they spoke Ladino. The Ashkenazi Jews spoke Yiddish. But once Moses Mendelssohn showed the German Jews what it means to fit into society, Jews started to go inside university. Victor Miller says it got to a point where 65%, by the time the Holocaust came, 65% of Jews of Prague were not circumcised by choice. They weren't certain. Now today we say, oh, Jews always get circumcised. But back then it wasn't the case like that. People were stopped getting Brit Milahs. I saw a video right now of a Jew, Hasidic Jew, was on a plane, I think from England to Denmark, something like that. It's one of those countries, you know, the Europeans are very big into soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Like for them it's Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Lahavdil, like it's their God. So they're in Zara and they have like these anthems and these chants. This Hasidic guy starts to walk down the aisle and suddenly you see all these mamash, these esavs, mamash esav, started singing some kind of soccer anthem. And one of the words over there, something like, yeah, we got foreskin. Like basically we have an orla. We don't have a brit milah. So they like it's a for the goyim it's a big thing not to get a brit. It's for them it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah not to get a brit. You understand? And when they saw the Hasidic guy walking down the thing, and the whole European Union was on fire. Oh, it's anti-Semitic, this, that. But look how the goyim look at the Jew. You understand? And once that happened, now today there is no enlightenment. What happened when Hashem saw? Victor Miller writes, when the Jewish people were so into the enlightenment, they were reformed, they were bunded, they were socialists, they were Zionists. Victor Miller says when he was in Europe in Yeshiva Slobodka, the great yeshiva, he says, I remember in my town, the Jews, the barber shops were open on Shabbat. Instead of lighting Shabbat candles, they used to light bonfires. They used to sing the Hava Nagila. That's what he writes in the Divine Madness. He says over there, it was a destruction of European Jewry. And he said, whoever tells you that the Jews before World War II were all tzaddikim walking around over there with shtaimelach and peod, and they were all tzaddikim, they're painting a picture that's a lie. It's just not true. He said the haskalah, the enlightenment, went so deep inside the Jewish people, even their books were inside rabbis' homes. Inside the Rabbanim's houses.
That's why it happened.
That's why that's how it started. It started with nationalism, Zionism. Hashem had to come and he had to burn it all away. It's sad to say such a thing. He said, his book took a lot of slack for saying this kind of stuff, but that's what he wrote. I'm not saying my words, I'm just quoting him. Hashem had to come and open up hell on earth to take out all these movements away from Klal Yisrael. Only two movements survived, the socialist movement and the Zionist movement. And where did they make their way to? Eretz Yisrael. Until today. Those people inside the parliament, they are socialists, these guys. Yep. What's the Mifleget HaAvoda? The Workers' Party. It's a socialist party. Avigdor Lieberman. All these people are Russian communists. They're commies. You understand? Yair Lapid. His father, Tomi Lapid, was a communist. He was. You ever see him speak?
The founders.
He was a Russian used to speak. He was a commie. You understand? Now, in America, we don't have reform movement anymore. You ever see a reform Jew? If he's 90 years old and he's walking on one foot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's reform Jews in America today. They don't even hold a candle. They made a census of Jews, the Bureau of Jews in America. Orthodox Jewry is on a 10% rise in America. That means in America, what's holding now the torch is Orthodox Jewry. Jews, the young generation wants to become closer to Hashem. They want meaning in life, but we have a different disease today. Another Jew, this time not Moses Mendelssohn, Mark Zuckerberg. We have another virus in the Jewish people, Mark Zuckerberg.
This is worse.
Yeah, this is worse. You're saying but it's not just social media. It's an addiction. It's an addiction that the kids cannot. We take when we're in yeshiva, when we take the phones away from the kids. It's like you're taking their Elokim away from them.
Their hands.
They look at like every Friday, Rabbi, I gotta check my phone. I'm like, I wish I could take this thing. Every time it falls and gets a crack, I say Shehiyanu, not with a bracha. It's like these kids, the Snapchat, blah blah blah. What picture? What did he do? And they live for likes.
Yeah.
But these likes are fake. They're all fake. I heard even some kids they buy them. It's true. There is a way to buy likes, to buy friends. You understand? I have 500 friends. I have 1,000 friends. I have 20,000 followers. I have 50,000 followers. He thinks he's Moshe Rabbeinu. He's gonna walk out right now and he has 50,000 people following him into the street. He's gonna open the seat. What is he, crazy? This kid? He's not gonna even have 5 kids walking behind him. Even 5 he's not gonna have. I'm being nice. And he bought them too. I'm being nice by saying 5. 50,000 followers. It's nonsense. You understand? A minyan you're not gonna have. You're not gonna say Kaddish. Anyways, that's why we have to daven. And that's why Yaakov Avinu was so crazy about it. Everything his mind was, the Av, Bechir Sheba Avot, he was willing to give up his neshama. For what? Just to have more children. And we're over here, person getting married, 2, 3, 4 years, the couple's on birth control.
What?
For what? And the rabbis give permission for that, 2, 3, 4 years to be on birth control. For what?
Fake rabbi.
And then, person has to say, you have to get pregnant right away. And kids today think that they're superhumans. Oh, I'm healthy, she's healthy. Then when it doesn't happen, why is it not happening? Why? You open your mouth too big. You open your mouth to Satan. So Hashem shut the trap. You understand? So therefore, a person has to have one thing in mind. Hashem didn't create this world l'tov. What's tov vavohu? Hashem didn't create an empty world. Like all those forest lovers and tree lovers. They want this world to be empty. One human, one dog, and the stars. For what Hashem created the world. So a dog could walk. What Hashem created the world for dogs and things. Hashem created the world. We should know who He is. Hashem wants the world to be. Goyim have a mitzvah to have kids too. Of course, Masechet Sanhedrin. Goyim, they don't have to have 2 kids. They don't have to have 1 boy and 1 girl, but they have to procreate. Hashem wants Goyim to procreate. Hashem wants Goyim to have children too. Hashem didn't just create the world for us. Hashem created the world for everyone. All the nations of the world to see Hashem. And Yaakov Avinu was busy in these 22 years doing one thing. How to have more children. And not only to have children, how to raise these children. We don't see any other one of the avot that gives so much of his time to raising his children. And we see so many conversations between Yaakov and his kids. Between Yosef, between Reuven, between Dinah with Dinah. We don't see any of the other avot speaking to their daughters. If they even had daughters. But you see Yaakov is talking and he's thinking, and he's afraid and he hides Dinah. It's a lot. It's a very emotional story. It's a story that brings out the neshama. And look how he comes to Arza B'nei Kedem. The pasuk says over here, and the theme of our shiur is learning Torah lishma. But what does this have to do with learning Torah lishma? I'll tell you what. The Gemara Masechet Yebamot, page Samech Gimel, says like this. Ben Azai said, a person should learn Torah, but he cannot stay single. So the rabbis told Ben Azai, well, that's very nice that you say that you have to learn Torah, but you have to get married. How come you learn Torah and you don't get married? He says, what can I do? The fire of Torah burns in me so much, I can't stay married. What was Ben Azai? Ben Azai was married to Rabbi Akiva's daughter.
Wow.
Rabbi Akiva had a daughter. You know the famous story with Rabbi Akiva's daughter that the astrologer said that she has to die. And the wedding night she will die.
Oh, yeah.
What was Rabbi Akiva doing asking the astrologer's question? I don't know. That's a story for a different time. But he asked. Maybe his wife asked. And they said his daughter has to die on her wedding night. So he said, shtiyot, tzedakah tatzil mimavet. So that night of the wedding, she was in the wedding, and a poor man comes, and nobody was paying attention to him, and the kala took her mana, she took her portion, and she gave it to the poor man. That night she goes to sleep, she takes off her pin, you know those nice brooches they used to have, she puts it in a crack in the wall. They didn't even have a megirah back then, they didn't even have a shkaf. She puts it in a hole in the wall. She wakes up the next morning, she takes out the needle, and the snake, a viperous snake was stuck inside the needle. When she put it in, she stabbed it to death. She showed it to her father, and he said, what mitzvah you did last night? She said, I gave my mana to a poor man. He said, tzedakah tatzil mimavet. Every time a person is in a bad situation in life, tzedakah tatzil mimavet. I had a situation with my wife. I tell you a personal story. A siyata d'shmaya story. So she started a new job in a hospital. And in the medical world, a job in a hospital is like the dream job. So she started this job, and the hospital job is a problem. Why? The age-old problem, Shabbat. What do you do for Shabbat? Shabbat, you gotta leave early, but it's a hospital job. You can't just, this is not a retail world you get to tell the boss I'm coming in. This is a job, a hospital. So I told her, what are you worried? I mean, be worried, but tzedakah tatzil mimavet. I told her, give tzedakah, give right now $100 to tzedakah, and say Hashem yitbarach, b'zchut tzedakah, help me keep Shabbat. She did that. And then she went to the coordinator and said, well, I have this issue. Oh, no problem. Fridays you need off? Not the whole time Friday off, I wish, but until 2, until 3, and then you make up the times another time. And it's a big thing, Tzedakah tatzil, tzedakah saves. The Gemara says, we're going to learn tonight what's Torah lishma. Torah for the sake of learning. We have to learn Torah for the sake of learning. The Gemara says if a person does a mitzvah to get a sachar out of it, to get a reward, it's not considered a full mitzvah. But there is an exception. Which one? Tzedakah. If you give tzedakah and you say, my son should be a tzaddik, tzedakah. Tzedakah, I should be saved from Gehenom, tzedakah. Tzedakah for this, tzedakah. All these things are considered tzedakah. Why? Tzedakah is one of the biggest mitzvot. How does the Torah call tzedakah? It doesn't say give tzedakah, the Torah says. Torah says, V'hei, achicha imach, may your brother live with you. Like your brother should live with you. You have to let your brother... Today, I was looking at a campaign. Such a sad story. Baruch Hashem, we should say thank you to Hashem 100 times today about our lives. There was a shaliach in Peru, Chabad shaliach in Peru. Peru has a Jewish community, a Sephardic Jewish community. 34 years, on Hoshana Rabbah, the rabbi dropped dead. 4 orphans, a widow, just like that. Dropped dead. I had a guy I used to give my dry cleaners to on Main Street by the pizza by Naomi's Pizza. Yeah, I used to give my dry young guy. One day I'm coming, he's not there anymore. Come. I said, where's the owner? Heart attack. No, stroke it was. Stroke and just like that. By the time he got to the hospital, Natan Nishmato b'chazara, 50 something years old. What's life, Rabotai? What's life? One day you're here, another day you're gone. Another lady I knew, she had pancreatic. Somebody personally, I know. I'm not telling you stories for bubble mites. I'm telling people that I know. Just this past week, lady had pancreatic cancer. In 3 months, Nishama went away. Young lady, how old? 58. 58. What's life? Another case I know, I don't want to make you guys, think, but I'm just trying to show you the urgency of life. The urgency of life. How much life shouldn't be wasted. Another case I know, not long ago, a couple was expecting their first child, and the child, she had a stillborn. Mamash, the couple was broken. You understand? Person shouldn't take life for granted. Look at Yaakov Avinu. What he did, what was his... We're going to look at that. What did they zero in life? What were their most important things in life? Only one thing. How do I make sure my descendants goes in the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Guys, remember Avraham Avinu? 2 parashas ago in Vayera? And Hashem said, I choose Avraham. Why did he say, I choose Avraham? Because he was strong? He defeated 4 kings? That's why? Because of Chesed? That's not what he says.
Because he listened to it. Because he followed it.
Ki yeda'ati. Because I know. Leman yetzaveh et banav. I know he will give chinuch to his kids. I know he's going to teach his children. He's going to give them chinuch. Rabotai. You hear what he's saying over here? These days, Tikkun Chatzot is at 11:40. You know what Tikkun Chatzot is, guys? The lamentation of the Beit HaMikdash is at 11:40. After you're done with Tikkun Chatzot, it's a Et Ratzon in Shamayim. It's a big time of opening of the gates in Shamayim. 11:40. What's 11:40? After Tikkun Chatzot, I have a pamphlet at home in my desk. I take it out, and over there I have 4 or 5 tefillot just to daven that my children should go in the ways of Hashem. 4 or 5 tefillot. 4 or 5 tefillot. I don't daven for Parnasah during that time. I don't even daven for Mashiach during that time. Lema'an yetzaveh et banav. You have to know how to give chinuch. And every kid is different. I once heard a story. One rabbi comes to one avrech comes to a rabbi and says, Rabbi, I don't know how to deal with my children. One child I have, mamash motziati min kelim, takes me out. Says, how do you raise it? I raise all my kids the same. I'm fair to all of them. Each one I did, same thing. That's your problem. Each kid has to be raised differently. Each kid has his own mishagas. One kid is studious. You know, when Leah, when she gave birth to Reuven, why did she call him Reuven? Anybody here know? Why did she call him Reuben? It's a very loved name by the Bukharians. Reuven, right? Reuben. Why did she call him Reuben? What does it stand for? What did she name Shimon? She named Shimon, right? Why did she name Shimon Shimon? Ki shama Hashem kol oni. Hashem heard my prayers. She should have called Reuben Shimon. Why? Hashem heard my prayers. He gave me a kid. But no, she switched. First she called Reuben, and then she called Shimon. She called Reuben. The Midrash says, Re'u ma beini leben ben chami. Look at the difference between my son and his uncle, the son of my father-in-law. The son of my father-in-law, Esav, who she was supposed to marry. Now he sold the firstborn for a pot of hot and sour soup. Yes, and he sold him for a pot of sour soup. And not only that, then he said, Ani meshatevecha. I'm joking with you. I want it back. But my son, Reuven, is not like his uncle. He's the Bechor. But yet when his father told him, you lost the Bechorah, not only didn't he want to kill Yosef, he was the only one who wanted to save his life. That's why she called him Reuven. Ruach HaKodesh, she said that. Reuven, look at the difference between my son, that is a Bechor, than that Bechor that was Esav. Look at the difference. Why? Chinuch. Even the names they didn't put stamp. Today when we want to name a kid, what name is beautiful? What name is beautiful? Today you have crazy names. Like there's a new name that's hot in town. Liam.
Excuse me.
Liam.
You're the original.
Liam Neeson, is that?
Liam Neeson. You gotta put a name biblical. You gotta go biblical, guys. You understand?
Liam is
It means my nation.
There you go.
But the point is that the names, Victor Miller says in Germany, he said, look how Hashem was playing a role. You know, one of the rules, one of the laws that Hitler decreed, one of the laws that he decreed was that Jews cannot name their children anymore German names.
That's good.
Do us a favor.
He said, look how Hashem is makpid on his Am. And then he made the German pure blood law. What was that law? Jews cannot assimilate. Victor Miller says only a blind person could say God is not here. God is not here. How does this Rasha Merusha make sense? A Goy is telling you, I don't want you to marry me. And today, listen, look, why? Guys, Chinuch. Yaakov Avinu, before he came, but we were talking about Ben Azai, he divorced his wife. He couldn't stay married to her. He loved Torah so much, he couldn't. The Gemara says if you love Torah so much, like Ben Azai, you don't have to get married. But the Tosfot says, don't fool yourself into thinking you're Ben Azai. You're not Ben Azai.
Get married.
How do we know? Yaakov Avinu! Where was he before he met Rachel and Leah?
Yeshiva, 14 years.
14 years he was learning in yeshiva. You think Yaakov didn't love Torah? Hafuch! Yaakov Avinu is the embodiment of Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha kilat Yaakov. Yaakov is bichinat Torah. Avraham is chesed. Yitzchak is yirat shamayim. Yaakov is Torah. Torah is tiferet. Even Yaakov said, stop, I learned enough. It's time to me to get married. It's time to me to stop. That's real Torah Lishma. Torah Lishma is not when you're single and you're in yeshiva and you're drinking 5 cups of coffee a day and everything is good. You're taking a break every 5 minutes. Life is good. Hanging out with your friends at night. That's not Torah. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, Maran Rabbeinu Ovadia Yosef, his wife used to say that my husband used to rock the baby in 3 in the morning. They had 8, 9 kids, no? How many kids they had? A lot. Only 6. Just the boys, they had 6 boys. 6 boys, 3 girls, something like that. 8, 6, 9 kids. He used to rock the baby in the middle of the night with a book in his hands. That's Torah Lishma.
There's a sofer who was writing in the hospital, one of the, I think it's a Torah or something.
While he's holding the baby.
No, while the daughter is sick or something, he's
doing Torah. That's Torah Lishma. That's Torah Lishma. That's the real Torah Lishma. What's Torah Lishma, Rabbi said, that Yaakov Avinu did? Yaakov Avinu, when he was watching Lavan's flock, when he was watching them, it says over there, he was watching it, the Meshech Chochmah, the Baal Meshech Chochmah says, our nishamot were in Lavan's flock. That's why he says, the pasuk says, and Yaakov woke up from the dream, right? What did Hashem do? He made the sun set early. Yaakov got to Bet El. Actually, really, he was past Bet El. Hashem made Kifitzat Haderech backwards. He brought him back, like a hotel owner that comes and sees a very important guest, and he runs after him. Oh, come back over here! Come back over here! You didn't get to eat from my food. He brings Yaakov back. Yaakov falls asleep. He takes the rock. He wakes up in the morning and he says, Hashem, I promise you, I'm going to give Ma'aser. I'm going to give Ma'aser. If you get me home safe, I'm giving Ma'aser. He makes a neder. He goes, and after Hashem tells him, I will be your God, I'm going to be with you, I choose you, it says, Vayisa Yaakov Raglav. Yaakov started to skip. He didn't walk. He started to skip. That guy is penniless. He's going to his amak's house. Now this guy is a Ramai ben Ramai ben Ramai. He's Mamash Rasha. Lavan Rasha. Lavan, he's going to his amak's house, penniless. Penniless. No money. He's asking for his daughter's hand. And he's over there skipping. He's taking a jog.
He's excited.
He's excited. For what?
With his wife.
Hi. Okay, listen, Habibi.
Yeah, the money.
I think all of us over here didn't meet our wives on the first date. In the first time we went out with a girl. We went out on many dates. Right? Even if Hashem would tell you in your dream, you're going to meet your wife, you're not going to start skipping. You're going to be nervous before the date. You're going to take a shower. You're going to put the thing. You're going to put the nice cologne. What's a good cologne? Creed gonna put that. You're gonna look, smell good. You're gonna think. You're gonna go to the day. You're gonna put your hair. You're gonna be nervous. Your heart is gonna go a little. Halavai, you're gonna go to the Yamim Noraim with your heart beating like that. You're gonna go on the date. You're gonna make sure you have enough money. Car is clean, right?
Car wash.
Yaakov went penniless, Habibi. And all he had was a dream. I have a dream, lahavdil. All he had was a dream. It wasn't even a full nivu'ah. It was a dream. Vaya chalom, Yaakov chalom. A dream. What, you think you don't have dreams? You think Hashem is not in your life? Have some emunah, tichayech. Ata lo mechayech. You have to laugh. Hashem is with you. You have to believe. You have to have emunah that your wife is not waiting for you in the next day. She's waiting for you outside the door. That's how much you have to wait. That's how much you have to believe in Hashem. But you think Hashem doesn't have a girl to give, guys? You think Hashem is so poor, chas v'shalom, that he doesn't have enough money to give you parnasa? You know those people? Could you close the air conditioner? It's 90 degrees outside. Could you close the AC? You know, you're wasting too much electricity. Could you close the lights, please? You know, you're wasting. You have a lot in Israel. You know, everything for the electricity over there, every penny.
And water.
And what? You think Hashem doesn't have enough money to give you to pay another $10 on your electricity bill? The same Hashem that gave you parnasa like this is the same Hashem. What happens? We don't have emunah. You have to work on your emunah is not going to come to you in a once a week shiur, Habibi. Your emunah is going to come to you if you every single day open up the Sifrei Musar and you learn Maze emunah, Maze anava, Maze kedusha, Maze Torah, Maze mitzvot, Maze maasim tovim. What does every day 10-20 minutes? Don't take off your tefillin like you're on a, you know those guys like it comes off like the rings come out like this in one shot. Don't take off your tefillin like that. Take off tefillin. Don't take off after tefillah. Wait 5 minutes. Open up Chokei Israel. A couple of psukim of Chumash, Navi, Ketuvim, Mishnah, Gemara. Even if you don't understand, start. Mitoch shelo lishma, ba lishma. Start with one step a day. Anyways, we don't have enough time. The Gemara I was reading today in Chokei Israel. There was a very rich rabbi who was a Kohen. By the way, speaking about Kohanim, somebody over here donated these amazing Kohanim kavanot. Al pi apshat lerfuah shlema Shimon Shimshon Chaim ben Mazal. Everyone take one, please. And if you have a Bet HaKnesset that you go to in the morning that they could use this, please give. It says over there that I saw the Gemara. It said over there the Gemara says that the Rav Hasda, Ashkenazim say Rav Chizda. We say Rav Hasda. Rav Hasda was very rich. So his daughter tells him a couple of things. The Gemara says his daughter tells him, Abba, she says. She was a very righteous woman. She said, Abba, how did you get so rich? He was a very rich man, Rav Chazda. He said, I'll tell you how to get rich. The Gemara records, you want to get rich? When you do netilat yadayim, don't be mizazel with netilat yadayim. Temalet ha'chofen, fill the cup, fill the hands. Don't wash like a misken until here. Fill the hands with water. Wash. Baruch Hashem, we're in America. So we also have to say thank you to Hashem for that. Hey, you're in America. Water over. If you live in a building, water is free. Most places water is very cheap. When you do netilah atakash. That's the parnasa. By the way, al netilat yadayim. What's the first letter of al? Ayin. Ayin. What's the first letter of nun? Of netilat? Nun. What's the first letter of yadayim? Yud. Ayin, nun, yud, ani. Whoever doesn't want to be an ani is going to be makpid b'netilat yadayim. To be makpid b'netilat yadayim. People are looking for sigulot, silver knives, silver swords. People are looking for sigulot from the Honolulu. It's in the Gemara. Then, Gabriel, this is not the punchline. Then the Gemara says something crazier. The Gemara says, Gabriel John, that her daughter asked Rav Hasda, she says to him, Abba, how come you don't go to sleep at night? You're learning Torah. Go to sleep. She says there's going to be a time when the days are very long and the days are very short. Then I'm going to have a lot of time. Right now, I have to learn. The Gemara said, what does that mean, days that are very long and that are very short at the same time? When a person's in the grave, days are very short over there. You have nothing to do there. And trust me, your neshama is over there. It's on the grave. But at the same time, if a person did mitzvot masim tovim, the days are very long. Where in olam haba. I'm going to tell you guys one thing, and we're going to end with this because it's late already. We have to start Shari Kedusha. We didn't speak a lot about Torah Lishma. I guess Hashem wanted to maneuver the shiur.
It's not 11, it's 10.
I know. And there's a Shari Kedusha shiur after this. I want to tell you guys one thing. This is the most important thing I probably have ever said in one of my shiurim. The most important thing. And it's not my words. The Chachamim say, there is one important ingredient in Yiddishkeit. If you're missing this ingredient, halach alecha. You lost it. You just forget about it. You're not going to continue. And it's not the belief in Mashiach, or in the Beit HaMikdash, or in Eretz Yisrael, or Kibud Av Ha'em, or anything, or getting married. It's not any of this stuff. If a person doesn't believe that there is life after death, that there is something called Olam Haba, then his Yiddishkeit is nil. It means nothing. If you believe, Gabriel, that there is no Olam Haba, that a madman, that a raving lunatic with a mustache covering just, what was he thinking? I don't know. Just this part over here, could kill 6 million Jews for no reason. The Jews were the greatest workers. They were 40% of the doctors and lawyers in Germany. 40%, the statistic says.
They own the banks.
40%. They were 3 out of 4 banks were owned by Jews. He basically crushed his own economy. A raving lunatic could kill 6 million Jews that we know of. And many more died in the war. Millions and millions of Russians, of Austrians, of other Americans. If you think that after all of that, that guy took, perfumed with his girlfriend. First, she shot herself. Then he took, or I don't know, she didn't shoot herself. They took perfumed poison. That means they smelled perfume poison. And then he just went and he had a laugh as he went. And that's it. The story was done. Then you're crazy. If you don't believe that right now that Rasha is in Gehenom, in So'ar Otachad, next to JC, in Bil'am, and Titus. By the way, Victor Miller says that the Holocaust, according to the accounts of Josephus, was 6 times worse than the Chorban Beit Sheni. In the Chorban Beit Sheni, Josephus writes 1 million Jews died. In the Holocaust, 6. Almost half, close to a half of world Jewry. That's insane. And if you think that guy is just Hakol Tov, he took some perfume and he went, and that's it, life is over, then you don't believe in Hashem. Then you believe there is no justice in this world. Yesh din veyesh dayan. There is justice and there is a judge and there is justice. Melech ohev tzedakah u'mishpat. And that's what Avraham and Yitzchak told Avimelech. Rak amarti en yirat Elokim b'makom hazeh. We just said to us that there is no fear of God in this place. There is no justice. Sodom had no justice. There's no justice. We have to have justice in our life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless all of us over here with banim tzadikim, banot tzadkaniyot, eladim tzadikim, kedusha v'tahara, Torah lishma, which we will revisit that. I didn't forget about it. I did prepare the shiur. May Hashem bless us b'chol medem etav. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashia omer, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu